Тема нашого наступного брифінгу – Балтійський шлях, який схвилював світ 25 років тому.
The next briefing is the Baltic Way, which has excited the world 25 years ago, trans-allies in unit. We'll have Argita, Daudze, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Latvia and Ukraine. Petras, Vaitiekūnas, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Lithuania to Ukraine. Ulla, Uibo, Deputy Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Estonia to Ukraine.
Petras, Vaitiekūnas, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Lithuania to Ukraine, and Ulla, Uibo, Deputy Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Estonia to Ukraine.
So, good afternoon. So, thank you for coming and showing interest in event which took place 25 years, almost 25 years ago, which is called the Baltic Way, the event which united three Baltic peoples and the peoples in Europe and all over the world, those who were interested in truth, those who were interested to regain dignity of three Baltic nations. That day, the day was the 23rd of August. And 1989 was the sad anniversary of Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, the secret protocols of which designed the future of European continent for several decades. And in the end of 80s, people in Baltics, people all over the Soviet Union started to wake up from the totalitarian rule of the Soviet Union. And this Baltic Way, the action which united more than 2 million people in a living chain, holding hands, distance of 600 kilometers, showing the protest against such illegal actions which were taken in 1939 by two totalitarian regimes, Nazi Germany and Stalinist communist Russia, Soviet Union called at that time. So we, the Baltic embassies here, have decided to turn your attention to this event and also to show our solidarity with the Ukrainian people on this date, which is Ukrainian Flag Day, the 23rd of August. And I would just like to read some sentences from the story written by the first chairman of the Latvian People's Movement, Latvijas Tautas Fronte, Dainis Ivāns. And he wrote that the culmination point of the solidarity of the Baltic countries was a living chain of people linking hands across Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, from Tallinn to Riga to Vilnius. In that chain, formed 23rd August 1989 at 7 p.m., everyone in the chain, each nation, and each and every individual was important to its success. The Baltic Way of Solidarity angered the Central Committee of CPSU, while at the same time it energized all the peoples of the USSR, also touching the hearts of people all over the world. the Baltic Way of freedom branched out and sprouted leaves of freedom throughout the entire USSR and even beyond it. It brought together the Latvians who, after the Second World War, had been forced into exile with the Latvians who remained in their native land. It restored dignity to the citizens of Latvia who fell victim to the 1939 Nazi and Communist Secret Pact. It honored the war dead, those murdered in Nazi and Communist concentration camps, those crushed physically and spiritually. It proved that even after half a century of lies, truth can be revived and win out. It was not without victims that the Baltic Way led to the three awakened Baltic sisters to freedom and independence. The victory won by the Popular Front of Latvia did not come easily. The Baltic Way that led to it was full of risks and hardships. After a period of such solidarity and unity, it is also not easy to step outside oneself and remain faithful to the ideals of the Third Awakening. Human courage, brotherhood, solidarity, democracy, and responsibility for the future. It is not at all easy to live a life worthy of the free individual in the free, independent, and democratic state. The struggle to achieve this is not and cannot ever be over. The question is not about simple material well-being, but about power of the spirit, which the rank and file of the Popular Front of Latvia will have to pass on to the next generations. We will be organizing conferences in Latvia devoted to this very event, the Baltic Way, and I know many events will be organized also in the capitals of our neighbors, Lithuania and Estonia. So we would be happy to see you with us on the 23rd of August and the event we organize here in Kiev.
Thank you.
Dear colleagues, almost everything was said. Let me only stress importance of this manifestation of non-violence, manifestation of solidarity, empathy, unity of three Baltic nations, and importance to remember this after 25 years. And we organizing the event on 23rd of August in European Square. We are inviting all of you. We will announce the details, but especially in this situation, facing direct aggression from Russian side, from Kremlin, to manifest solidarity of Baltic states, European Union states, NATO states with Ukraine is important. So we are inviting you. And let me mention additional detail about the Baltic Way that in 2009 UNESCO accepted documents regarding and recording the Baltic Way, and Baltic Way we added to UNESCO Memory of the World Register in recognition of the value and importance. So United Balts will manifest and demonstrate unity with united Ukrainians on 23rd of August in the square in European Square here in Kiev. Maybe that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Almost everything has been said already. I could sum it up in a way. 25 years ago, the unity of the people of the Baltic countries helped us to regain our independence. And today in Ukraine, the unity of the people is very important to help to achieve your goals. And on behalf of the Estonian Embassy, I am inviting you to join the event celebrating the 25th anniversary of the Baltic Way. Thank you.
And I'm remaining for you 5 little photos of 25 years for these events. Please.
Thank you very much.
Look at this.
Зараз можна.
Now you can ask questions. Journalists, if you have any question, please. Good afternoon. Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. How will you celebrate that? What are you planning to organize on the 23rd of August?
I can understand. The speaking is more difficult.
Great.
We will be organizing an action, people gathering on the European square and holding hands, holding flags of Baltic states, Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, and also showing on the big screen the moments from the Baltic Way and also some greetings from leaders of that time. We will be giving also some interviews before that and also speaking to the gathered public. So this is what we envisage. And I think European Square as one of the places in Kiev where gatherings of many people with an idea for the European future of Ukraine is a very appropriate place for such an event.
Thank you.
Maybe we will propose a ribbon of Ukrainian flag colors and to stand hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder with this Ukrainian ribbon and Ukrainian flag colors ribbon and our 3 Baltic states flags to involve all who will arrive.
Thank you very much. We have one more question here. If you will allow me, I would like to ask a question on behalf of the Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. I'll come forward. Ukrainians, as I'm sure you all know, are also very peaceful and tolerant people. And we have proved this by standing peacefully and singing the Ukrainian anthem for 3 months in cold winter in the central square. Unfortunately, none of this, which I think could be termed the Gandhi way, none of this has actually brought any results. So the change came, unfortunately, after the blood was spilled. And if we now extrapolate this onto the international arena, there is currently a debate, a schism, if you like, in the European political elites as to which is the right way to deal with the current threat to the Ukrainian sovereignty, which is posed by, let's call them pro-Russian insurgents, separatists or terrorists. So from where you stand, how do you see the European policies should proceed in order to achieve result? And the result for Ukraine is at its basics, very simple. We need to stop Russia supporting those people who cause violence and instability in Ukraine. So is the European Union doing enough?
May I? В протест того, что Люди часто думают,
People think that Putin attacks you, not Russians, and Putin and Kremlin. Many millions, tens of millions of Russians, they protest actively against the policy of President Putin. And I would like to underline that in Russian. That's why I speak Russian now. Of course, Europe uses soft power. Russia uses hard power and military power, and that disproportion is easy to feel. And see, but President Putin, with his policy, has already lost, as he lost. The one who lost politics, the one who loses, and he loses everything. But that doesn't happen quick. And the vote in the UN, in General Assembly, that showed that Russia is alone with 10 losers, international losers, and who support it. I believe that that pressure, which is used by Europe, by the West civilization, probably that is not sufficient, but we have to achieve political goals. Just pressure and sanctions should not stop. We should not punish Russia, but we should change Russia. But Russia should change by itself. It can change by itself when it feels where's the end, where the end of Russia and where Ukrainian nation begins, where Russia ends and where Ukraine begins. Unfortunately, they don't feel that. But I believe that those last events and the intense reaction, especially of Ukraine, and more consolidated position and actions of Ukrainian government and Ukrainians, that will teach Russians to realize the border. So let's do what we can, what depends on us, everyone. Ukrainian armed forces, Ukrainian ATO, Ukrainian law enforcement bodies, and Europe and the US. And together we'll convince Russian President Putin that he made probably the biggest mistake in his life. Thank you.
That solidarity in this very tragic situation, what is in Ukraine, is very important. Solidarity of all democratic world with Ukraine, and pressure what Russian Federation and the leadership of the country is experiencing now from whole world is tremendous. European Union, as you know, is a union of different countries, but that what is achieved until now in form of sanctions is really also important for European Union itself. It is we demonstrate our unity, and I'm confident that the European Union of fall of 2013 and the European Union of today are rather different in their approach to Ukraine. And I fully agree with my colleague, Lithuanian ambassador, that solidarity between European Union and United States with Ukraine is of big importance, and it will bring results in tackling the aggression which Ukraine is experiencing now. Really, as being observers here and being solidar with Ukraine's fight for territorial integrity and dignity and freedom for the Ukraine, I can say that there are achievements in Ukraine also relating to anti-terrorist operation towards the political consolidation, and I'm confident it will be continuing. It is necessary to continue and to achieve the goals of Ukraine. And one of the goals which was stated by Euromaidan and which is on the agenda of your government, your president, is a close integration with Europe, with European Union. So the next step after signing of the association agreement is ratification of it and implementation. So here we stay with you to help to implement this agreement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Would you like to add?
I would like to stress the solidarity and support of the democratic world, and certainly the unity of the Ukrainian people, which are most important, and this all will help to achieve the goals.
Thank you very much.
One more, еще одно замечание.
One more comment, one more remark. Russia is not Kremlin and Russia is not President Putin. It is proven by Stanislav Garany from Nizhny Novgorod. He is standing alone on my Twitter. You can see it on my Twitter. He's standing alone with a sign which says, Putin, get your hands away from Ukraine. No to policy of lie and hypocrisy. I remember when 5 or 7 dissidents in Czech Republic protested against the war. All the world knew their names and paid attention to that. I would like to ask to pay attention to such courageous people who come alone against the whole system and in different Russian cities. Thank you very much. One more. And Russian language does not belong to Putin. It's not his property.
The president of Ukraine has appealed to the international community some days ago with a plea to officially recognize the so-called Donetsk People's Republic and Lugansk People's Republic as terrorist organizations. And we all understand that this is a formal step which is needed to trigger the international mechanism which allows for a more forceful action with respect to these terrorist organizations as they are recognized by the Ukrainian law today. So the question is, are the Baltic states going to recognize the DNR and LNR as terrorist organizations?
Latvian Foreign Ministry has a
Міністерство іноземних справ Латвії сказало, що ми готові до цього. Ми теж. В такому випадку дуже дякую вам за те, що ви прийшли, за те, що ви підтримуєте нашу країну. І вам найліпші побажання щодо того заходу, який ви плануєте на 23 серпня. Ті, хто тут присутні, прийдуть, і ми розповсюдимо нашу інформацію через наші джерела, через соціальні мережі. Бажаємо вам всього найліпшого. Дуже дякую.